Hello, this is Laura from Healthy Carnivore. Coming to you again. It's Saturday the 12th when I am recording this. I'm not sure when I'm going to put it up. If you like this information I shared with you, please like, share, subscribe, follow me, hit the bell, do all those things. I really would appreciate it. So this is just my Ninja air fryer. I'm doing some ribeye fat bites. I'm making up some meals for the rest of the weekend. I was gonna fast and then I decided not to, so I may start a fast Monday. I don't know, we'll just see kind of how I feel. But I'm going to be making some tallow for my husband to use. I've got a container here. I'm gonna let the oil cool, put it in there, and then I'm gonna have my husband use that for like his French fries, things like that. He does eat French fries. Let this cool off for a second. Anyway, he does, it's a little piece. Be very careful. If you have one of these, you probably have already burned yourself. I think right here is where I had a burn, and as you can see, can you tell I ever had it? It was like in a triangle shape. Anyway, I did that tallow lotion that I make onto it, and then castor oil and tallow, and just kept doing that. And my skin doesn't even feel different over that site. You know, sometimes a burn, when the skin comes back, you know, it feels weird. I don't have that. So anyway, I'm gonna let this cool just for a second. Because like I said, this is kind of what I do. I have a bunch of fat bites on the bottom. I have deer burger on top. That was also mixed with extra ribeye fat when I ground it up. But I put that on top. Be very, very careful. This thing is super hot. Ouch. Do as I say, not as I do, right? As I burn myself. But I mean, I'm not burning myself. Anyway. So this I'll put in today's food. Like I said, some of this I'm using for today. Some of it I've made up for Saturday and for Sunday. I also have, I don't even remember what type of arm roast maybe I think I made. I made an arm roast. And I just put a bunch of ribeye fat, put it in the oven at like 200, I think it was 275 for several hours. So shake off the excess oil. And you want to definitely use hot pads. And then what I do is I bring up the base. I know you probably can't see into there, just see the light, but I'll show you. So I pour it into my Pyrex measuring cup, which holds 4 cups. This should be right close to 3 cups. It's close. Let that drain. And as I said, I'm gonna do a second step to this. That's what I wanted to show you. If you're somebody that wants to use your tallow up, then I will show you what to do. Let me unplug this and get this out of the way. What a dork. I tried to turn it off because I had like half a minute left on there or something. Tried to turn it off after it's unplugged. Okay, can you tell it's time to eat? Okay, so I'll kind of show you what I do here. And if you have a smaller, this is a screen like a sieve or whatever, you know, just to drain stuff. If you have one with smaller holes, these are pretty good size holes. I don't know how well you can see those, but they're pretty good size. So I put that over my pan and then I put paper towel in there. I don't know if it's good for you, bad for you, but I want to strain out all of this stuff. So it's about 2.5 cups of tallow. While it's still hot, you want to go ahead and pour it in. Make sure you could see. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to keep it where it gets most of those little pieces out. Because what you want to do with your oil is you want it to be what they call refined. All these dishes I made for myself today, doing all these videos. Anyway, you want to refine the oil, so it takes a second process. So like if you're going to make body butter, lotions, soaps, shampoos, anything with your tallow, you want to strain it and you want to put it in like a double boiler or a saucepan on very low heat and let that cook and let the impurities, the extra water, stuff like that cook up out of it so that it's pure. And basically you could put that in a mason jar with a canning lid and ring, put it in there, use something so you don't burn the crap out of yourself, and turn it upside down for a couple minutes, then turn it back over, and that will can that, that will seal it. And I've used my tallow years. Trying to get the last of it through there. And it's catching all those little bits, which is good. And you can strain this again. I'm not going to because he's going to use it as a cooking oil for French fries. I am going to try to not burn myself. All right. Man, I got some dishes to do. All right. So I just put this on. Like I said, my stove looks horrible because I've been cooking all these things with grease and stuff in it. So I'll clean that next. But you don't want to bring it to a boil. You just want it nice and low to where you can see little bubbles. It's water and different impurities that cook up out of it. That's kind of how Crisco looks. I hate to compare this stuff to Crisco because that is seed oil poison. Should have skull and crossbones on it. Maybe someday it will. I need to add a little salt to these real quick while they're warm. They are so good to use as a side with your eating, if you're eating carnivore. If you're eating keto, these are really good to add too, to get a lot of the extra fat. I do about a 50-50 ratio of fat protein and I do lion. I don't do other things. I just do lion and it works out for me. I like the way I feel best on that. Let's see. Anyway, you'll let this cool down. You wouldn't have to let it cool down completely, but you wouldn't want to put it in a cold jar if you're using a glass jar. You absolutely want it cool enough. And I would heat up your glass jar in like water, then dry it out. Never put hot grease, hot liquids of any sort in a cold canning jar. If you do, I will promise you the bottom of that jar will pop off. And then the hot contents are going to be wherever. If it's your hand, it'll be your hand. If it's up against you, it'll be all over you. And that's a bad burn you don't want. I'm going to be using this plastic. It says it's BPA free. But anyway, this is going to be a container that I'm going to put it in. So just like, you have the other hydrogenated cooked seed oils, I'm going to put it inside here so that my husband can use it when he fries things out in the garage. Like I said, sometimes it's fish, and I actually will fry fish with no coating on it, or I'll use like pork rinds and crush those up, but I don't really do much pork rinds anymore. But I'll just do them plain and just fry it in there. It's really good. And like I said, he uses French fries. If you're somebody that eats regular, standard American diet, I still recommend trying to get away from as much of the seed oils as you possibly can. I think you should be eating ketovore, carnivore, probably. I haven't met anybody that can't do those. I think they're going to be healthier for you. I think whole foods are the best. I do think some people, my husband seems to be able to eat vegetables. They don't affect him. They absolutely affect me. The oxalates, the chemicals that plants have to ward off being killed so that they can survive and come back. absolutely is something that inflames me. I mean, 100%. It's horrible. So I choose not to do those things. I do think any diet that gets you away from standardized American diet, that everything comes in a package, a box, I do think you're still going to be better off. And you can only do the best you can do. But I can tell you, I know somebody personally who is on, not WIC, but it's the, I think it's called Link, and it's like the food stamp program, but it's like on a debit card now. And she is starting to transition her family over to carnivore. And she said, it's actually, I have more left over for the rest of the month. She's not running out quite so fast as she was, you know, because processed food is expensive. And sometimes it's cheaper than when you look at, like, say you buy a pound of hamburger that's 70-30, you know, that might be more expensive than that package of like spinach. But for the weight of the spinach, you're paying a lot more for a pound. So you have to look at it that way. And you got to just take your own health into your own hands, because nobody's coming to save you. And if anything, if you haven't learned anything over the last 3 years, that when there's money to be made, it doesn't really matter if you get healthy or not. Because the people making money off of you will love for you to stay sick. So that's all I'm going to go into today on this. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. If you have, you want me to look over lab work, you have personal questions that you don't want to put out on here, my email is up in my description on my channel. And you can send me an email with any kind of questions, and I will absolutely get back with you. So have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go play in the snow here in a little bit. I need to go put some eye drops that I made up for my dog, clearing up an eye infection for him, and it's working very well. So I'm happy with that. So you guys have a good rest of your day. As I always say, meet, heat, eat, and repeat.